But as you see what the topic say, let's talk about the new camera that Blackmagic released. Let me put on my earphone. It help me to hear myself. Yeah. At least me I hear myself now, so I know my audio is going out. So I realize that a lot of my what I call it now, content creation friends or associates or just persons who are into cameras and cinematography and stuff like that. Blackmagic. So BlackmagicDesign, world renowned for DaVinci Resolve, for the Ursa, for a lot of amazing camera, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras. A lot of persons are up in arms about this camera. So this is the camera that a lot of persons are up in arms about. And my thing is that they shouldn't. And here why. If you understand Blackmagic as a company, then you wouldn't have any issue with Blackmagic releasing this camera. I know that majority of the persons would want Blackmagic to release more pocket cameras, pocket 6K, pocket this, pocket that. If you look at Blackmagic as a company, you would realize that Blackmagic is way bigger than the Blackmagic pocket camera. And we're gonna, take a look at some of the stuff that Blackmagic offer, and you would realize that the pocket 4K and 6K and these cameras are not even super important to Blackmagic themselves. And let's take a look at the stuff that Blackmagic actually offers. So let's go in products. And this is Blackmagic's products page. Mind you, on Instagram, you won't be seeing it fully, but if you're on YouTube, you will be seeing it fully. And as I say, you can join me on my YouTube. It's iShango Tech if you want to kind of get a full sense. And if you even want to join the conversation, because I am allowed to put your comments on screen, XYXYZ. Now, this is the entire line of what Blackmagic offers. Professional camera, DaVinci Resolve and Fusion software, ATEM live production switcher, Ultimate, duplication disc, recording and storage, capture and playback, Syntel scanner, standard conversion, broadcast converter, monitors, network storage, multi-view, routing and distribution, streaming and encoding. That's the family. Select the product family. So that's a family of products that Blackmagic offer. You hear me? That's the family of product that Blackmagic offer. So Blackmagic, outside of their professional cameras that they make, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're talking about more than 10 other stuff that they offer. So Blackmagic themselves is not hell-bent and focused too much on the cinema camera, so to speak. Mind you, they have some cinema camera that they're focused on, and we'll take a look at the cameras. But I don't see why persons are up in arm with this thing, because this new camera that Blackmagic released, which is the studio camera, which I was just on, this studio camera, the BlackmagicDesign announced new Blackmagic Studio Camera 6K Pro. Now, you need to understand the release to really get a sense of why this is so important. So let's look at it. Let's go through the cameras that Blackmagic has to offer. So these are the digital cameras, digital film cameras, digital and film. I don't know if them work together, but digital film cameras that Blackmagic offer. So they have the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K Gen 2 G2. They have the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 12K. Okay. They have the Blackmagic Ursa viewfinder and some other stuff. After that, you have the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Gen 2, and the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K Pro. These are the only pocket cameras. And this is what most cinematographers and, upcoming photographers and stuff like that who wants to do certain level of production and also want to use the Blackmagic suite, because what happens is that DaVinci Resolve is much more, what I call it now, more in tune with using the Blackmagic camera because of the color science and stuff like that. However, these are the cameras that they release today. Well, I think it's on screen, the new ones. So you have the Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K Plus, the Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K Pro Gen 2, and the Blackmagic Studio Camera 6K Pro, like a 2500 camera. You also have the Blackmagic Ursa Broadcasting G2. I think the G mean Gen. Now, this new camera that they release, it's, to me, a much better broadcasting camera. You need to understand, a lot of persons don't understand, because Blackmagic has the pocket cinema camera. A lot of persons are not taking into consideration that Blackmagic is a broadcasting company first. Just look at their cameras. Blackmagic is a broadcasting company first. Just look at the equipment that they offer. Persons are up in arms, hoping that Blackmagic release a next pocket camera that will work for them in their cinematography and stuff like that. But Blackmagic is a broadcasting company first. Let's go back and look at the equipment that they offer. The ATEM. Remember, say they also release an ATEM. So let's go back to the home page. So the home page will actually show us what was released, the new stuff. So we're on the home page right now. And the home page introducing ATEM Television Studio HD. Now, in their press release, they actually showcase how this thing works. They showcase the camera, and they showcase all of these things and how they actually work seamlessly together. This new Blackmagic camera with the new system that they're working with, it actually can be broadcast over a cellular signal and almost real time. You're talking about switching. You can control the iris. You can control the ND. You can actually even have two-way talking back and forth through a cell phone. Revolutionary. Mind you, not revolutionary still, like that, because that exists before, but we're talking about this new camera and the capabilities. But this ATEM Television Studio HD, look at the cost, $3,000. Again, another feat. And these are the equipment that Blackmagic sells. These are the equipment that Blackmagic pay attention to mostly. Yes, they made a pocket cinema camera. However, the pocket cinema camera is not what Blackmagic focus on. Blackmagic is not super focused on the pocket cinema camera. So every time Blackmagic release something, they are not releasing a pocket cinema camera. Blackmagic is not a Sony and a Canon and some of these companies when they are releasing cameras, it's just focused down a certain line. Blackmagic is not red. I don't know why red just slipped me a while ago. Blackmagic is not red. So you have to understand the company itself and the core of the company to understand why they release the stuff that they release. Look at what we're looking at now on their website. ATEM switcher and camera update. The new Blackmagic Studio Camera 6K Pro. new ATEM microphone converter. Introducing ATEM Television Studio HD. New lower price ATEM Pro Mini Pro. $299. Remember, you know, the software that is large amounts, more content creators, cinematographers, and stuff like that for color grading is a Blackmagic software, DaVinci Resolve. And this software is actually free. Anybody can just go and download it and use it. And if you're going to purchase DaVinci Resolve Studio, it's only $299. One-time payment. It's not like Adobe that has to tie you into a subscription that you're paying for the software. Mind you, Adobe give you a lot of different software, your Photoshop, your After Effects, your Premiere Pro, all of these software tied into a system that they charge you over $1,000 a year, every year for. We're talking about Blackmagic. You know, a lot of different stuff that Blackmagic offer, but we are up in arms when Blackmagic doesn't release another pocket cinema camera. Blackmagic is way bigger than the pocket cinema camera. Way, way, way bigger than the pocket cinema camera. Look at this new ATEM stuff. You'll see the guy talk about it.
I'm Grant from Blackmagic Design, and I wanted to give you an update of some new products today. We even have some new cameras, so let's get started. Now, first I wanted to talk about ATEM Television Studio, the original. And we've got a lot of new ideas. There's also some things we can do better now. I think the old model of ATEM Television Studio was a little bit confusing, the family, because we had both rack mount and panel-based models in the family. We think ATEM Television Studio should probably just be a panel-based design, and that's a lot easier to understand. Plus, we have ATEM Constellation for anyone who needs a rack mount switcher. One of the other issues with the old models is we designed them to fit in a rack shelf, but no one actually used them that way. So I don't think we have to fit into a rack width. Plus, the old models used an audio fader as a transition control, but everybody loves a T-bar. So the new design should have a T-bar fader. Also, the old models didn't have streaming, they didn't have any recording. You know, it's a portable design, so we think it should have this. And the old model was also a mix of SDI and HDMI, which is a bit confusing. A lot of people needed more than 4 SDI inputs. So we've had a lot of thoughts on what the new model could become, and it's time to update the design. Now, the new model is called ATEM Television Studio HD8. Let me bring it out and show you. Got one here. There it is. You know, it's a television studio you can hold in your hands. It's all self-contained. Everything you need is built into this one single design. Now, it's a powerful 1ME live production switcher built into a high-end broadcast panel. So it's pretty much the most portable high-end solution you can get. It's a true high-end design, but it's easy to carry into venues. Particularly hard to access locations like such, you know, downstairs basement comedy clubs or music venues. You can, you know, sometimes you've got small control rooms that have no space in them. And even broadcast vans, you can build a broadcast van with this without a lot of clutter because you don't need any external equipment. So let me explain some of the features on this new design. So it's wider than the old panel. That's because we wanted to fit more features and lay it out properly. It's a standard broadcast panel layout, so it's very familiar to design to broadcasters. We actually have this flange all the way around the perimeter, which means you can flush mount it into a desk so it becomes totally flat. I think I've got a slide I can bring up to show that. Now we include a template in the box to help you cut the hole. Now not everyone can cut holes in their desks, but it's a great way to install it. It also has adjustable feet so you can tilt the back up. Now it's built from carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate, so it's lighter than the old design, which was a thick metal. But it is a high-end design with extremely high-quality buttons. And there's actually spaces between the groups of buttons, which means you can operate the panel by feel. So it means you can keep your eye on the multi-view. You know, live production's so busy, you can't take your eyes off the action to look down at the panel all the time. It's really nice to be able to feel your way around the panel. And it's view. Now, pan and level, so this is an interesting point that's important to understand. Pan and level both work on separate channels. So each knob's a separate channel. You can see it's got a very bright HDR LCD. It's also got a tally light above the LCD, and there's one on the top. The sunshade, there's a sunshade that's included, and it also folds down, protects the screen. And it comes off, you can even remove it. Now look, let's look at the side. I think I can get a camera over there, and if you can get a shot of that. So you can see we've got HDMI out, and we've also got SDI out. So we've got an SDI program return input, which, when you plug a video into that, you've got the button on the back.
All right, so that is basically what Blackmagic released. And as I said, many persons are not, I wouldn't say understanding, but persons are, as I said, up in arms about what the release was about. They got hyped up, think that they were going to get a next Blackmagic pocket cinema camera. And they didn't. But Blackmagic released something for their core audience. This is actually even better than the ATEM, regular ATEM. This is an ATEM that you can use to do almost any live production without, breaking the bank. Without breaking the bank. This new ATEM. Look at the cost. This is $3,000. $3,000. Almost anybody can afford that, especially if you're going to do production. 8 3G SDI. Streaming and recording. Multi-view, DVE. And the reason why these things kind of speak to me is because I am from the live stream production area. I've done live stream production using various softwares. I have never been an hardware live streamer, but I understand it. I am more a software live streamer. I use the OBS like I'm using right now. I use the vMix. I tend to use software, and then for the cameras, I'll use like regular capture card. Even one time I was using NDI. And I'm sure this can work with NDI because everything can work with NDI nowadays. So, and just look at the prices. You're getting top of the line stuff for a very cheap price from Blackmagic. But I don't know. I don't know why persons are so up in arms. Look at these equipment. See? DaVinci Resolve free. DaVinci Resolve Studio $295, $300. One-time payment. You have all of these equipment for basically DaVinci. So you can get a specific keyboard that helps you to do your color grading and your editing in DaVinci. You have the micro panel, you have the mini panel, and you have the advanced panel, which is $27,000. See the advanced panel? $27,000. The mini panel is $2,000. And these, once you're using DaVinci Resolve on I would say a more higher level, then now you can use these to help you to make your color grading much better, much easier, so to speak. The advanced panel now, that's a different level. That's the reason why it costs $27,000. You have the Fairlight desktop console. You have the Fairlight desktop audio editor. And Fairlight is DaVinci audio engineer software, so to speak. It's their audio software that they use. And Fairlight is actually a part of DaVinci Resolve. Everything is built into DaVinci Resolve Studio. So you can do your color grading, you can do your editing, you can do your audio editing, you can do everything in there. The Fairlight Advanced console now give you all of the buttons that you can touch. It's like you're in a professional audio studio. You have Fusion, which is a separate cost. I think Fusion was a part of DaVinci, but Fusion is their visual effects software. So like how you have After Effects on Adobe side, you have Fusion, and it's very similar to DaVinci Resolve. It's very node-based. And if you know anything about DaVinci Resolve, when you're doing your color grading, it's not like After Effects. It's not like Premiere Pro or even Final Cut. When you're doing your color grading in DaVinci Resolve, you're putting on node, and you put on this node, and you tie this node to this node. It's more like you're building a tree, so to speak, in DaVinci Resolve. But persons should what I call it now, understand what the companies are for and understand the type of products the company produce. So that when the company produce a product that they are like, oh, it's not the product that I wanted them to release, they need to understand that this camera that DaVinci, that Blackmagic release is very important to their core. Because if you had a Blackmagic studio already that you set up and this new camera coming now that you can put a remote camera almost anywhere once they have a cellular signal and that can broadcast the same quality, you can control the iris, you can control the ND, you can control everything from wherever studio you are. But as I said, people just need to understand the companies and understand the purpose of the companies. And once they understand that, then they will not be up in arms when it comes to certain release. So I just think that that's it. I know I went on a more like a rant type of stuff, but I think people should really like understand the companies and don't be so up in their feelings when they release. Buy the Sony cameras, buy the red cameras. If you want a company to release, they are releasing something, they release camera, focus on these companies that focus on cameras. So when they say they want to release a camera, it has to be in a certain area. When Sony is releasing a camera, is either they're releasing a camera for their sport photographers, they're releasing a cameras for the photographers, or they're releasing a camera that is more hybrid that a photographer, videographer can take advantage of. But Blackmagic has a host of products. So when they are releasing a camera, they could have released a Ursa, they could have released one of their studio cameras, or they could have released a Pocket. And who knows, the Pocket is at 6K Pro. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But let me come out of this rant, because I'm ranting and ranting and ranting. But that's it basically. That's what I'm saying. Don't stress yourself about what Blackmagic released, because they know what they're doing. They're releasing stuff for their core audience, which is persons who use their switchers, and this camera is geared towards that. All right, that's it. No more rant. Until another video, bless up yourself.